Okay everyone, today I'm going to show you how to smoke a rack of ribs. I'm doing it in an electric smoker. So we're going to start by just washing the rack of ribs. So once you get your ribs all rinsed off, you can take a little bit of paper towel and just pat it dry. Get all the main water off. And then what I do is you take some yellow mustard. Don't need a whole lot, but just give it a coating in yellow mustard. Rub that in. Basically, it helps the seasoning stick, and it's supposed to give it what they call a smoke ring. But and you flip that over. You do the same thing on the other side. You don't need too much because you don't want it to change the flavor of the actual ribs. But you just want enough just to get the seasoning to stick. And I'm just going to wash my hands off and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright. So now we're going to start putting some seasoning on it. We're going to start with just some salt. You can go pretty heavy on all the seasonings because it's only going to be on the outside of the meat. So I'm going to hit some garlic powder. I like garlic, so I do quite a bit of it. I also like to use the thyme. It's all chopped up. I use this a lot in my sausage recipes too, but no. Then we're gonna use some black pepper. I like using black pepper quite a bit. And then I'm just gonna use a little bit of paprika. And you can just rub that on there like that if you want. Help it all stick in. Should be stuck on there anyways because of the mustard. So and you gotta flip it over and do it to the other side as well. I forgot to tell you, on this side there is a membrane along the you'll see the bones, but there's a membrane along the bones. You want to make sure you strip that off before you start doing all the seasoning and stuff to it. Okay, yep, you do the same thing to the other side. Start with the salt. And garlic powder. And you come with some thyme, whatever the hell it's called. And black pepper. And paprika. And that'll do it for the seasoning for me. I don't like to put too much seasoning on them. A lot of people like to smother them right up. I do not. Alright, and the rack of ribs is ready for the smoker. So today for our choice of wood chips, we're going to be using Western apple barbecue smoking chips. And these are for a sweet and mild taste. Recommended for pigs. A lot of people, for another sweet taste, I think they use cherry chips. But anyway, so you set your smoker to, I got mine set right now. The ribs are in it. The smoker sets at 225 degrees. And you're going to want to smoke your ribs for the first 3 hours uncovered at 225. See if you can see it without the smoke hitting you in the face. So it's hard to see, I guess, because all the smoke. But ribs are in there. They're smoking. Very smoky. But yeah, so it's got to get back up temperature because it is winter here. You can see that. So it's cold, but it's at 151 right now, so just from opening the door it drops quite a bit. But I'll get back to you guys when the first 3 hours are up and we're ready. We'll be ready to wrap the ribs and put the marinade on. Okay, try it again. Okay, so while you're waiting, you can make your marinade. You're gonna need this for later. It's gonna be 1 part barbecue sauce to 2 parts apple juice. So we're gonna do half a cup of barbecue sauce. Hopefully half enough. Alright, there's a half cup of barbecue. And the apple juice doesn't really matter on the brand, as neither does the barbecue sauce, I don't believe. But so we'll do 1 cup of apple sauce or apple juice. Then you're just gonna want to mix that together. So you're gonna need this later when you go to, because you're gonna need to wrap your ribs after 3 hours. You're going to do that bone side up, but you're going to need to put some marinade on the rack of ribs. You probably don't need this much for 1 rack, but I might use this for something else. You could probably do half of this for 1 rack of ribs and be okay. So there's your marinade. Okay guys, so we hit that 3 hour mark. Let me check the internal temperature. I put my meat probe in there. It's reading 164. We're looking to get about 175, 185 degrees. Anywhere in that general area is good. But we're at the 3 hour mark, so we got to take the ribs out and pour the marinade on them. Alright guys, check out those ribs. Looking delicious. So we're going to take these. When we pour the marinade on, you want to make sure to pour the marinade on so the bone is facing upwards. These are nice and juicy, you can see it. Okay, so we got the ribs on there. I'm going to try to hold the camera and slide these ribs at the same time. As you see, get your so you want it bone side up because it's got this little pocket there, and that'll hold some of the marinade for you. But before we do that, we got to fold up this side. So that's why I make the little boat looking shape first, just like that. Then you take your marinade, which is your barbecue sauce and your apple juice. Pour that right on there. Like I said, you don't need all this. This is just to create some juice. It'll make some additional flavor. Now, I only got a little bit left, so I'm just going to dump the rest of it on. This is a pretty decent sized rack of ribs. It's a lot bigger than most normal ribs. I got this one little guy right here that we're going to put in there as well. I just couldn't fit it. I couldn't fit it before. Okay, so now you're going to want to wrap your ribs Just do this the best you can. It's gonna be kind of hard with this rack. It's just a large rack of ribs. I'll actually put the tin foil on this way. Get that to lift up for me. So it doesn't need to be too tight of a wrap on the tin foil. Just have to basically just get it wrapped. Now this one here can probably come this way on it. Just take that, put it over the top. Now I'm gonna take one more piece, lay it down on the rack, place my wrapped ribs up on that. Big important thing, make sure you leave the ribs bone side up, the same way you poured the marinade on when you put it back in the smoker, because you want that juice to stay right into the rib. And plus, doing it bone side up, the meat part is sitting onto the rack, and all the juice that's on the bottom of the tin foil should absorb into the meat like that on the bottom as well. Okay, so this is ready to go back in the smoker, so let's go do that. Okay, ribs are going in. Remember, bone side up. Still plenty of water in there. I am going to add a little bit of wood chips. Not really much smoke will get through the tin foil. Probably none of it will. But it probably, maybe a little bit will seep through the cracks. This Masterbuilt smoker has the wood chip tray on the side. So what you have to do is just take your wood chips, throw them in that little tray. It holds about 1/3 of a cup each time. Make sure none are sticking over the edges. Put it in, and then you just twist, and it drops it right down into the tray. So we're going to come back in another 2 hours and get these ribs unwrapped, and then coat them in just a layer of barbecue sauce. The ribs have been in there for about an hour and 45 minutes covered. The internal temperature is reading at 174. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yep. So we're going to take those out 15 minutes earlier than they should be. It's going to depend how they cook on every rack of ribs is going to be different. So we're going to pull them out right now, and then we're going to bring them inside, coat them in barbecue sauce, bring them back outside, and put them in there for roughly around another hour. So let's see those ribs now. So what we're going to do is grab our tongs. Yeah, these ribs are just so juicy. They're going to be wicked good though. So we're just going to grab the whole rack of ribs and move this way over to the sink. Okay, so when you set these on the rack, you're going to want to make sure they are bone side down. Put that little guy on there as well. Now you take your barbecue sauce. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so it's a little difficult. But take your barbecue sauce, just put a good, quite a large amount, because that's right there in the smoker. That's going to get nice and sticky. Almost like barbecue sauce. Okay. Now you take your brush and just Brush that on everywhere. You can see how the seasonings are baked right into the mustard and stuff, so that's going to be perfect. Okay, now you have your barbecue on there. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some garlic powder on there. Just a little bit. That'll be pretty good. Okay, now we're going to bring these back out to the smoker. Okay, we are back outside now. We'll throw the ribs back in the smoker. So, we're going to put this on the top shelf now. So that way there we can get a wicked nice smoke on there. Should already be pretty smoky anyways, but just to make sure I have a lot of chips inside of the chip pan, I'm going to take it right out. I'm going to put a good amount of chips in that smoke pan. That should do it pretty well. Alright, put the smoke pan back in. And that thing should start bellowing smoke pretty well. Okay, internal thermometer's gonna go back in. We are ready to roll. Gonna let that smoke for about another 45 minutes. Come out and check the temperature. So we'll get back to you when I do that. Guys, I just killed the smoker. The temperature reached 175, and that's going to be good by the time it comes out of the smoker and is resting. Usually the internal temperature will raise as it's resting. So, big cloud of smoke. Pull this internal thermometer out. Ooh, it's hot. That is one hot thermometer. Pull this delicious looking rack of ribs out. Look at that, guys. So shut the smoker real quick. Alright, let's get these inside. Alright guys, so the ribs are all done. See, they got that nice color. Like I said, the barbecue sauce would get sticky, and it has, which is perfect. So what we're going to do is take this rack of ribs, grab a hold of it, and we're going to flip it right over. That way there you can see the bones. So you can see all the bones. And that will tell you right where to cut. So we're going to, we'll cut it right in the middle to begin with. These things look great. And just like that, guys, you have delicious ribs. Look at those nice ribs. Man. If I can get them to stay up. There we go. Look at those beautiful ribs, guys. Oh, yeah. Those are going to be delicious. But, so that's pretty much it. Make sure to subscribe, comment, tell me how you like to cook ribs or smoke anything. And don't forget to subscribe like the video and keep watching for more.